tormenta!
What did he just say?
He said there's a storm coming in.
Viano tormente.
What's it say?
He said there's a storm coming.
There's a storm coming, Ari.
There is a storm coming!
There's a storm coming.
Storm coming, Mr. Wayne.
There's a storm coming, brother.
There's a storm coming.
There's a storm coming, Dr. Suresh.
There's a storm coming.
There is a storm coming, a black and terrible storm.
There's a storm coming!
I sense there's a storm coming.
There's a storm coming!
Alice says there's a storm coming.
There's a storm coming.
Storm's coming.
The storm coming soon.
A storm is coming, Frank says.
A storm is coming. Our storm.
Storm's coming.
Storm's coming.
There's a fucking storm coming, man!
Storm's coming.
Storm's coming.
Storm's coming.
A great storm is coming. The wind that overturns the land.
The storm is coming.
There is a storm coming.
Hey, Cody, there's a storm coming.
The storm is coming.
There's a storm coming.
There's a storm coming, Frank.
There's a storm coming, kids. Let's get inside.
You can't sleep outside. There's a storm coming.
Storm's coming.
Oh, you all better get your umbrellas out because there's a storm coming. Come on, Jorge, give it to him.
There's a storm coming. What?
There's a storm coming, buddy. There's a storm coming.
Hey, Barakat Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh, double honor to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom, two brothers in the houses and byways doing the works of sealing faithfully and continuing fighting that good fight of faith. Lord willing, we have found that number to be delivered. All right. So as you see, there was a bunch of Hollywood clips. First I want to say, fair use on this video. And again, the fair use clause allows people to use segments of any videos under a certain time period. All right. So this fair use clause must be mentioned, so they will let you continue with your video being posted. All right. And even then, they're quick to cut your video because of something you may have used, even when you've disclosed the fair use clause. So again, they want everybody to follow the rules, but they don't follow the rules that's put in place so we can use the rules. But all that being said, fair use on the video, right? Now, the play on words was there's a storm coming, right? And that's exactly what's happening here in Babylon the Great. And a lot of you Israelites out there, you're taking, you're taking this thing of ours and making it seem like it's just a walk in the park, or making it seem like, yeah, I decide I'm gonna go a different direction. I was watching Elder Menat Zogbar's video with the young lady who's professing that she regrets being a Hebrew Israelite, so on and so forth. Things like that are being said because of the way things are being taught by these other camps. All right, and a lot of you men out there, you're going all out to try to grab these women and bring them into the fold, right? You guys all want about 1,000 wives, so therefore, when these women finally, believe in you, and you finally capture her, and then what? You treat, however you treat them. But they come to the conclusion of, this is what they wanted. This is what they signed up for. This is what I thought was going to be. The scriptures speak about if you're going to be a bishop of the Lord, be the husband of one wife. All these wives and all this shit that that you're doing, you men are doing in these times, it just detracts from the truth and you doing the work. All right. But all that being said, the storm is coming. All right. This ain't a time to be talking about, I don't want to be a Hebrew Israelite. This ain't a time to be, playing both sides of the fence. It's about to go down. And the Lord's true prophets are bringing it out just as it should be. Revelation 12:12 says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." All right. So when you watch that video and you see all these, these Hollywood movie clips, saying there's a storm coming, as we always have been mentioning, this thing has been in play for many years. This isn't all of a sudden. Esau has been plotting and planning for years. All right, even going back to what these movies are. Now, one can say they're talking about a literal storm, yes. But again, understanding how Esau works and his Hollywood magic. And as we read these scriptures, you can see and understand what it means by there's a storm coming, right? So let's go here. Let's go here. So it's the overview of the AI overview. This is the idiomatic in the metaphoric meaning of there's a storm coming. Is that a significant trouble, conflict, or crisis, or imminent? All right. Says, crisis is imminent. It says it is a warning or a prediction of future difficulty. All right. So again, Hollywood has always been in the loop of knowing what their agenda was, or agenda would be, right? Agenda would be. It says key interpretations include impending trouble. It suggests that current calm conditions are temporary, and that a major negative event is about to unfold. All right. Now, mind you, this is all based off the term, there's a storm coming. Esau ain't just putting that in his movies to make it, to tell you that, they got a couple clouds on the horizon. All right. They're telling you that they're going to start flexing their muscle, and they're going to start coming down having great wrath. But the masses of the people and the majority of the people in this time period have no idea. It says a building conflict. It says often used in dramatic contexts like films or literature. It can signify that hidden tensions or disagreements are reaching a breaking point and the confrontation is unavoidable. And hence, as we read Matthew's the 24th chapter, right? So let's pause this and jump over to Matthew's the 24th chapter. I believe this is what we got here. This is Matthew's 24. And it says, Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there should not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. All right. So the Lord is going to start explaining to his disciples what they need to be watching for. Right. And it says, as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privily, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? Right? So there's now going to be a particular rulership that's going to be taken out. It says, Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right. So we have been informed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushua to watch for what? Wars and rumors of wars. Okay. These are all signs of trouble. but we're not to be troubled. Right? So going back, it says building conflict, often used in dramatic contexts like films or literature. It can signify the hidden tensions or disagreements are reaching a breaking point and the confrontation is unavoidable. Hence, we have the World War III, the conflict of the nations, of the whole world. All right? This is unavoidable because prophecy is going to be fulfilled. All right? So it doesn't matter, what one would say about a peace treaty or a truce. This is all in the hands of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Therefore, this confrontation is unavoidable. They're not coming to the table to shake hands. They're not coming to the table for some, peace agreement where all nations are going to be satisfied with what they come up with. Absolutely not. Okay? The next bullet point says, foreshadowing of crisis. The storm is a metaphor for any period of great upheaval, emotional turmoil, or disaster that will soon impact a person, group, or situation. There's a storm coming. All right? So again, now is not the time to be, pussyfooting, playing both sides of the tracks, thinking that, I tried that Israelite thing, but it wasn't for me. Now, if you're following and listening to the right men whom the Lord has set up, then you're not going to have this wishy-washy mindset. And the water Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai for giving us the spirit of understanding, all right? And for, giving the spirit to the hopeful elect to receive it, believe it, have faith in you. Because all these individuals who are, falling to the wayside, they clearly lack faith. You can't teach somebody how to fear the Lord. All right? You can explain to them that the fearing of the Lord is something that it's in you, right? But again, to a man coming into this thing, you got to read these scriptures, right? You got to pray to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And then when you understand how terrible the Lord is and the things that the Lord has done, and you believe in the Lord, and you believe and you see certain things that actually play out before your eyes, then you understand and know that the Lord liveth. And then you're going to fear because you don't want no judgment coming upon you in the fashion that you may have been witness to something. Okay? So this is very serious what we're coming into. This is very serious what we're talking about. You people can beat around the bush all you want and make excuses and give this whole story about why you want to leave or why you left and it wasn't for you. You can do all that. But believe you when we tell you. Believe us when we tell you. There's going to come a point in time where you're going to find yourself trying to find yourself, a way back in to the good graces of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. This is 1 Peter 5:8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Now, we've been telling you, these devils are about to come down having great wrath. They're about to really, show their horns. Who is that primarily for? This is primarily for the children of Israel. All right? And the true prophets of the Lord are warning you about the very same things that are about to take place. So when Esau puts in his movies and his Hollywood movies, there's a storm coming. He ain't talking about just the average, storm clouds, little bit thunder and lightnings, some rain, some heavy torrential downpours. He ain't talking about that. All right? He's talking about the turmoil, the impending danger. All right? The upheavals. Because this is what he has been born to do. He was born to be the wicked. He's been born to destroy, lie, cheat, and steal. He's been born to shed blood. So why not now, as his kingdom is about to fall? He's going to do everything in his power to try to remain in power. But he now needs to understand he's fighting against Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. He ain't going to be down here, tussling with Jake here and there on the highways and throwing Jake in prison. He ain't going to, the Lord's going to come with the A game. Okay? 2nd Ezra 16, jumping down to about 70 and read on down for a minute. 2nd Ezra 16. All right. Starting at 70, it says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." Now, you got to ask yourself, it doesn't matter if you're not out there on the highways and byways. It doesn't matter if you're saying some other name. All right. It doesn't matter if you don't profess yourselves to be, involved with camps or, the Hebrew Israelite doctrine. It doesn't matter. Because the point that I'm about to make is this. If you are an Israelite, they got you. They know who you are. They know who they're looking for. Okay? So when that time comes and you're going to try to defend yourself talking about, I don't do all that. I don't talk about the teachers and on the streets and whatever. I don't do all that. You're still going to end up in a concentration camp because of who you are, not because of what you do. All right? So denouncing that you're a Hebrew Israelite or speaking about, you gave it up and, there was a cult that you was involved with, it doesn't, that shit don't matter. Let me go here. And I'm just gonna scroll down on some of these titles. Okay? It says here, Hebrew Israelite debunked. Now this nigga here, he's on stage talking hellish shit. Alright? Making comedy parodies and jokes. Ex-Hebrew Israelite. Ex-member. I regret becoming a Hebrew Israelite. Cultish leaving the Hebrew Israelites. Christian occult. What's up with the black Hebrew Israelites? Rudy Rockman on the black Hebrew Israelites. Everybody got something to say. Let's talk about the real black Jews, black and Jewish. They did a spinoff off that song Black and Yellow, and I'm not going to play it. But again, it's all goddamn fun and games until the Lord starts bringing judgment upon this earth. All right. Black Hebrew Israelites versus Israel. Now, these are those jakes that went over to Israel and now they're looking to get deported. Okay. This is not Christianity. 7 Truths exposed, and as it goes on to say, black Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew Israelites gets humbled by the gospel. So the list goes on and on. I regret being a Hebrew Israelite. All right. So the list goes on and on and on. So the time is going to come where the Lord is going to make good on his word. He's going to destroy a lot of you. Okay? Just because. It says, verse 71, They shall be like madmen, sparing none. You think they're going to spare you? Because you're going to profess that you was never out there teaching in that name? Yahushua, Yahweh Shem Yahushua? You think they're going to spare you because you profess yourselves to be a good Christian person, believing in God? All right? This is the climax. Jacob versus Esau. All right? This is the end. Again, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Okay? 72. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. So again, if you are in this thing and you are involved in this thing of ours, trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Let the Lord do his thing. Let the Lord do his thing. All you got to do is be faithful and stay faithful. Because it's going to play out exactly the way the Lord said it's going to play out. Now, if you believe not and you're weak in the faith, you're going to get hasty. You're going to make hasty decisions. You're going to jump ship thinking that you're going to be able to save yourself. And a lot of you people are going to end up reverting and taking the MOTB. All right? There's a storm coming. Be mindful. And it's right around the corner. A lot of you don't understand what's about to happen. What's really about to take place. You rather trust in Esau and trust in his system than to put your trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And a lot of people go this route because the Lord has kept himself, away. Now, we know and understand that the Lord liveth. We know that the Lord is making things happen. And this is why we're very thankful, because a lot of you people, the Lord has turned his back on you. But we are the hopeful elect. When there's certain things that brothers may need, the Lord comes through. When there's certain, when brothers pray to the Lord for certain things, the Lord comes through. So the Lord is working, man. The Lord is constantly working to those that love him. All right? This is Isaiah 10:3. And it says, "And what will ye do in the day of visitation, and in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory?" So that point being made is, to whom will ye flee for help? There's no help out there. There's no man going to help you. And this is why when you read Isaiah 4:1, for you women, you better get a hold of a man in the truth. All right? You better start humbling yourselves and putting away that haughty spirit of yours. Because these devils, not only are they going to come down having great wrath, but you know what they're going to do? They're going to ravish a lot of you women. 90%, 80%, 100% of you women are going to get ravished and then left out in the street for naught, with no protection. You Israelite women, you have lost your damn minds first and foremost. This devil has shown you, he has given you a brief outlook on what he can do. All right? Now, when they was going to terminate them food stamps, what happened to a lot of you women out there? Crying, making videos, how you going to eat, how you going to feed your kids. This can't be happening. Ready to sell yourselves, ready to put yourself on the market. Okay? Brother Amwanga Bar, he said, beans for what was the title of it? Salakia. Beans for ass or some shit. That shit had me cracking up. Beans for box. That's what it was. Beans for box. And this was the state of mind that you women were in. All right? And now you was ready to turn yourself over to a man for help, right? But Esau came through on the clutch, right? And what happened? You went right back to your wicked ways, right back to your selfish ways, talking about I'm all set, thank you. Listen, the Lord has stretched out his hand. And for you few sisters that are truly involved and truly believe, keep praying that the Lord have mercy on you and watching over you and your household. All right? But for the majority of you women out there, may Esau come back around, strip that goddamn food stamp, strip them goddamn Section 8 vouchers. They having problems right here in Boston now. Talking about there's no money to pay the landlords for these Section 8 housing apartments. What do you think is going to happen? Niggas going to be out there in the cold. And it's cold out there. And now you're going to be right back in that same position. Talking about, yeah, I'm ready to turn myself over to you. Too late. Too goddamn late. You got to remember, the Lord is working, every minute of the day. The Lord is working. And he has set up men who are also working. And these are the men whom you need to seek out. And now understand, it's at our discretion who comes and goes. While Esau's in charge, you women got the front row seat. You in the driver's seat. But when all hell breaks loose and society breaks down, then and only then you're going to understand. Right? So again, who are you going to flee to for help? The Lord has already set his men up on the highways and byways. And if you ain't recognized, and we don't give a damn about you any damn way. We care and pray for the hope for the elect. It ain't about getting women. That's the furthest thing from our minds. Trying to get 4 and 5 women to come around. Listen, they're gonna come anyway. The Lord's gonna send them our way. We're gonna have to beat you off of us. But the time is gonna come where you're gonna find out the hard way. Jumping back down to 24, Matthew 24. Because I was mentioning about the signs that the Lord is going to give unto his servants. Now, we've been reading these scriptures for years. And the reason why we're able to read these things continually, because they're prophecies. All right? These scriptures that we're reading are prophecies. They're on the horizon to actually come to pass. And when they come to pass, lo, they will come, right? Then you're going to know that these are the men whom the Lord has set up. So let me continue on. Verse 7 again. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. These are the things that are happening all over the world. Now, we like to make mention that the Gates of Hell Foundation, they're going to be back on the move. And people are asleep. You people are asleep at the wheel right now. Now they're talking about revisiting this whole food stamp thing at the end of January. Okay? That's going to be revisited. Now they're also now throwing in the Section 8 housing. You people are just sheep being led right to the slaughter. It ain't questioning, ain't even inquiring, don't give a damn. will let you be led that way. Okay? Point make here in 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. All right? There's a storm coming. And nobody's going to give a damn if you're male or female. No one's going to give a damn. I seen a video the other day. This dude was getting in this woman's ass on the train. And all the comments, who's going to step up and save her? Nobody. People minding their goddamn business these days. If you're a woman out there and you decide you're going to try to, square up with a man and talk all kinds of shit and call him all kinds of niggas and bitches, you better be ready to deal with the consequences. Nobody's coming to save you no more. Those days are done. All right? So the beginning of sorrows are starting. You better watch your damn step out here. You better watch your step. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. All right? So again, it goes right along with the lesson that this storm is coming. And Esau, Edom is going to lead that charge. And all these nations, going back to Psalms, the 83rd chapter, all these nations once again are going to be in league and in line with the time of Jacob's trouble. And you got niggas out here talking about, I used to be a Hebrew Israelite. I'm an ex-Hebrew Israelite. I regret this and I regret that. Well, yeah, you are going to regret it. You're going to regret it. You best believe that shit. Because then you're going to be looking for that opening again. You're going to be looking for that opening, but it's going to be too late. Because you've turned your back on Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I used to be. And the niggas giving 2-hour, interviews. Talking about, why they left and how they used to be, and it was a cult. You see what happens when you're under, certain type of tutelage where anything goes. These people, these other men put themselves and put all the worldly things before they put the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And this is why all these men are bugged out. These women are bugging out, talking about they're leaving and they're going back into their old life and their old world and embracing Babylon the Great again. All that signifies is this, that whomever these teachers were, they got your blood on their hands. That's all it signifies. All right? Continuing on. It says, and then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Right? So this is the time we're coming into. Slowly but surely, all this is starting to come to a head. Right? People ain't out there trying to, truly, be a part of the Lord's program, of the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It was all about feeding their own belly. It was a fad. It was a great experience to them. Oh yeah, I was involved. They get these videos, they're making these videos. I was involved with them and we did this and we did that. Yeah, well, all these things that you are speaking about was being done by wicked men. And Thwada Yahweh Shem Yahushai for the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Because going back to the old school when Elder Apostle Tahar said, these women gotta go. This is why a lot of these camps have so much goddamn confusion. Because their women are all in the mix. Making videos, rap songs, sister, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I cook and shine my man's boots all that fancy bullshit. That's bullshit. Your woman shouldn't be on the forefront, you know, explaining what she does, her motherly or wifely duties. No one cares about that shit, man. People want to know how they can get back right with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. But all that being said, I'm going to end it there. Lord willing, it was edifying. There's a storm coming. That's probably going to be the title of this video. But again, these things that are coming upon the horizon are coming by the hand of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right? And when you get into these scriptures and you read the things that the Lord has done back in the ancient times up until now, the Lord ain't bullshitting. He's about to really do some damage out here. And he's going to use Esau, Edom, and these other nations to administer the death and destruction that's coming, man. All right, so with that, I'm going to see you on another one. I'm going to say shalom.